nasty, ungroomed beard, hair all on their necks, sideburns look like ground beef. But Manscaped has a solution for all of that. Introducing the Beard Hedger Pro Kit. This kit comes with the Beard Hedger trimmer that's cordless and waterproof with 20 different cutting lengths, perfect for styles of all sizes. It also comes with care products like their beard oil that's infused with sweet almond and sunflower seed, their shampoo that's dye-free and vegan, and the conditioner that's blended with coconut oil, shea butter, and vitamin D. It also comes with their beard balm so you can style your beard look to perfection. The kit also comes with free accessories including the beard brush, comb, and scissors. All you gotta do to get this is go to manscaped.com today. 20% off. Falling. When you're short and you fall, that ain't nothing. You close to the ground already. Ain't no distance you gotta travel. But if you're tall and you trip, it's disastrous. Limbs everywhere. Ankles shattered. ACL exploded. Imagine I told you I was gonna push you off this cliff and it's gonna take 3 days before you hit the ground. That's a lot of acceleration, right? Now you know how I feel. When I'm walking, I'm extra conscious about where I step, but every now and then the ground will conspire against me, trying to kick me out. You know those yellow things on the sidewalk with the little bumps and stuff? So one day it recently had rained and the ground was kind of wet. I was going to class and as I was walking, out of nowhere I slipped. I felt my body hit the Jordan for a split second, but luckily I caught myself. I looked down to see what I slipped on, and it was that dumb yellow thing, almost assassinated because it was slippery. Apparently those yellow parts on the sidewalk are there to let people know that the sidewalk is about to end, but I think it's really there to let them know that their life is about to end, because it's literally a weapon of mass destruction. When you're tall, you don't only get long legs, you get long arms too. So we got more leg and arm we gotta worry about, and that's when clothes become annoying. When I was younger and still in the middle of growing, my clothes would stop fitting so fast. One month you get a nice little t-shirt, next month it's a crop top, looking like Ice Spice in the Munch video. He said I'm good enough, grab my da-da-da. One day you buy some nice shorts, the next day it's a Speedo, cheeks on full display. Now, ain't no one trying to see that, bro. Now that I'm done growing, the only real issue I have with clothes is hoodies. See, I love wearing hoodies. It's like a blanket you can wear in public. But the thing that will happen sometimes is I will buy a hoodie online in my size, and when it arrives, everything about it is perfect, except for the sleeves. The sleeves would be too short, and I have this fire hoodie that I can't wear without looking like Slenderman. Another thing about having long limbs is sometimes they just be in the way. I'd be trying to sleep, and it feels like my arm is just in my way. Every position I put it in, it feels awkward. I wish I could just pop it off like a Lego and put it somewhere else. Trying to get into smaller spaces sucks too. Like when my car is parked too close to another car, and I gotta somehow squeeze in when the door is only 5 inches open. Looking like Waluigi trying to step into his cart. And then there's trying to swim with extended limbs, bro. Watching me try to swim is a sad sight. Like, yeah, in the end, I'm gonna make it to the other side of the pool, but not without looking like them car dealership balloon things on fentanyl. And when you think about it, there's really no point to learn how to swim if you're tall. I could just stand up. I know they say it's always good to learn just in case of an emergency. But let's say we was in the middle of a flash flood out of nowhere. I wouldn't have nothing to worry about. Everyone else is struggling to stay afloat, and I'm just standing there. Help me. No. Despite some of the downsides of being tall, it's way better than being short, bro. You couldn't pay me to be short. I don't care if I'm being held hostage. Let me go. Shut up. Now, the only way you can get out of this is if you become 5'7". 5'7"? You mean like the sauce? No, I mean your height. So you're saying the only way I can get out of here is if I become 5'7". Yeah. If you're short and I somehow offended you, then I achieved my goal. That was the whole point of the video. Follow my Instagram and my Twitter. I post funny stuff and I stream on Twitch. Follow that too. Alright, bye. As you may already know, I'm in my school's marching band, and it's the only thing keeping me from burning my book bag and dropping out, if I'm being honest. Because, dude, life is trash when you just wake up, go to school, and go home. And I'm not trash, so I joined the marching band. And it's fun, you know, we'll go to play at football games, travel for competitions, and marching parades. Until this guy came and ruined it. Hey! Got me over here depressed and thinking about all the past band trips we went to, and realizing that they were probably my last. So, get some popcorn, because I'm about to tell you the greatest story of all time. So before I talk about the big trips, let me explain what the trips to the football games were like. I don't mean to brag or anything, but we're the best band in the land, so whenever we're at games and another band with some smoke, we just destroy them. So there's this bus rule where we had to ride to another school in complete silence so we could stay focused on remembering the songs in the halftime show. But sitting in silence for a whole bus ride is harder than you think, because something funny would always happen. Like this one time, the bus driver decided to play the Milkshake song. Better than yours, damn right. Other thing is what happened, like I would see something out the window, start laughing, or someone would show me a meme and I'll think about it for the rest of the ride. So that's pretty much how every trip to the games were like since freshman year. But the real fun was when we actually went to different states to perform. The first band trip I ever went to was in freshman year, and we went to Alabama for our competition. All I remember was that we were making a bunch of Alabama jokes the second we crossed the border. Hey, the band director did say this was a band family, right? Yeah. Then that same year we went to North Carolina for another competition, but this time it was an overnight trip, so we had to stay there for a few days in a hotel. I remember being so excited for it because I felt like a man now. So I started packing a bunch of random stuff to take with me, like I brought too many clothes, and I even bought my bulky little Xbox 360, which took up like a third of my suitcase. So we got there and did the first part of the competition and made it to the hotel. So each room was allowed only 4 people in it, so I went with me and 3 of my other friends. Let's call them Luigi, Douglas, and Reese's. So we were in there screwing around just making jokes and stuff, but then we started to smell something coming through the vents, and it kinda smelled like magic leaf, if you know what I mean. And then a few seconds later, we got a knock on the door. So we opened the door, and it was one of the chaperones, and he was like, "Hey, do you guys have anything you're not supposed to have?" And we were like, "Nope," and we started smiling, which probably made us look more guilty, but it was obvious we didn't have it. Like, I'm the last person that you would suspect of having magic leaf. I mean, come on, look at me. If I tried to guess him, the dealer would look at me and start laughing. Anyway, the parent left because he realized it wasn't us, and we got on Tekken on the 360 because that was the only good multiplayer game that I had on there. The next day, we went to the second part of the competition, and we got first place in music. You know, no big deal, we just built like that. Our band is so good that the next year we got invited to play at the Chicago Thanksgiving Parade that was going to be on TV. When I first heard about this, I was kind of scared because I've heard some things about Chicago. I thought Chief Keef was going to come and shoot up the bus or something, I don't know. They said we had to pack some formal attire because we were going to go to this dance or something. And as I was looking in my closet, I realized that I didn't have any fancy shoes. So I looked to see if my dad had any old ones that would fit. And I found one and put it in my suitcase without looking at the shoe size. Remember this, okay? It becomes a big problem later. So the day of the trip came and I was low-key excited until I remembered that Chicago was 12 hours away. So we sat in this bus for like a whole day, and it was cool for like 45 minutes, but things started going south after that. Eventually somebody took a match and blew up the restroom, but luckily I wasn't in the back, so I didn't have to worry about that. Sleeping in the bus was hard because I can't sleep sitting down, and I just started to get bored. We finally got there, and bro, when I walked out of that bus, I almost died because I forgot Chicago was cold, and I wasn't ready for that. We went to this pizza restaurant that had these fat pizza slices, and 70% was tomato sauce, but it was still good though, so I didn't really care. After that, we went to the hotel, and while we were there, we found out that we could call other rooms, and so we started prank calling them. But then we realized we might accidentally call the band director, so we stopped. The next day, we went to this museum, and it was pretty cool. Afterwards, they let us go shopping, and I figured I'd get myself a souvenir. So I looked around, and I saw this cool-looking hat, and so I bought it. But I should have worn it beforehand, because when I put it on, it was too small for my long head, and I got depressed. But then something happened that made me completely forget about it. So we were walking back to the hotel, and in front of us was this store with a mannequin wearing a scarf at the door. As we were walking by the store, this random dude started walking near the mannequin, and then out of nowhere, he just stole the scarf and took off. I was in shock because he did it in broad daylight, and he didn't even try to be careful about it. That was the first time I've ever witnessed a crime with my own eyeballs. But hey, at least that young man is warm now. After that, we went back to the hotel because there was this dance we had to go to with the other bands that were going to be in the parade. So we got back and started getting dressed into our formal attire. Alright, so remember those shoes that I said that I packed without making sure they actually fit? So yeah, they betrayed me. I put them on and they were 3 sizes longer than my actual foot, and I started to panic because I looked like I was cosplaying SpongeBob with them big work boots, but I had no choice but to wear them. We got into the elevator to go downstairs to where the dance was at, and somebody noticed the combat boots that I had on and looked at me with concern, and I wanted to jump out of the elevator. We got to the dance and I just sat down because I don't dance, and even if I did, I would accidentally stomp somebody's face out with the cinder blocks that were on my toes. The next day was the Thanksgiving parade. We got down to the street where the parade was being held at and started marching down. And Chicago decided it was going to be extra cold that day, and I could barely march. When I played my trumpet, it felt like I was licking Elsa's earlobe because it was so cold. We went back to the hotel and got ready to go to this boat for the Thanksgiving lunch. After that, we took a picture with this large silver jelly bean. So after all of that, we came back to the hotel room and we came across across a new problem. Open the door. You open the door. You're the one with the key. I don't got the key. I thought you had it. We lost the key, so we have to go all the way down to the front desk just to ask for another key. Okay, what's your room number? 12. Okay, do you have a form of ID? Do we look like we have an ID? We're 15 years old, man. So after proving to her that we weren't some random strangers, we finally got the key. Alright, so this next part is probably the funniest part of the whole trip. So while we were in our room, Luigi's cousin, let's call him Cone, came in to visit. We didn't know if we were even allowed to let him in since it was past 9 o'clock, but we let him in anyways. So we were all just hanging out, and I decided I was gonna go brush my teeth. While I was in there, there was a hard knock at the room door, and Cone went to see who it was. It's a chaperone. So obviously they started panicking, and I started panicking from the restroom because I thought the chaperone was gonna get us in trouble for letting Cone into our room. So before they opened the door for the chaperone, Cone was looking for somewhere to hide, and he went inside the closet. Hey, how you guys doing? Pretty good. We're doing alright. So he started looking around, and he realized that I wasn't there, and he was like, hey, where's Juice at? And when he said my name, I turned that sink right back on and pretended that I was still brushing my teeth. Because I knew that if I came out, I would have started laughing and make us look suspicious. So yeah, he was like, where's Juice at? And Reese's was like, oh, he's just in the restroom brushing his teeth. I assumed the chaperone knew something was up because he started looking around and he was like, are you sure nobody's in here? And I heard Douglas say, nope, nobody's in here. And then the chaperone started walking toward the closet like he already knew, and he opened it and found Cone just standing there. Get out. Yes, sir. And then the chaperone was like, why did you guys lie to me? And nobody said anything. All except for Reese's. This nigga tried to save himself and just said, technically, I didn't lie to you. All I said was that Juice was in the restroom. After that, the chaperone left, and I got out of the restroom, and we all looked at Reese's in disappointment because he tried to make himself look innocent, even though we're all equally responsible. And then we just went to bed, and that was the last day we spent in Chicago. But yeah, Chicago isn't even as bad as people say it is. The worst thing that happened was the dude stealing a scarf off of a man. Panicking. The latest two trips we took was in 11th grade last year. On the first trip, we went to Alabama again to compete in the band competition. And this year, me and this other saxophone player, let's call him Sax. So me and Sax had to play a duet on one of the songs on the halftime show in front of a whole audience. We've done at the football games a bunch of times already, but this was an actual competition, and so we couldn't mess it up. On the day of the trip, we got on the buses, but this was probably the worst bus ride out of all of the trips because the Wi-Fi wasn't even working and my data sucked. And so I couldn't watch YouTube videos without it buffering every 2 seconds. So the only entertainment I had was looking at nature and shit for 2 hours. We finally got there and we did the halftime show. And guess what? We got first place because we're built like that. And on that bus ride home, we all felt like legends. The trip after that was in Orlando, Florida. The thing I was worried about this time was getting eaten by a Florida man, because apparently that's a thing. So the purpose of this trip was to go to Universal Studios and then do a Battle of the Bands performance. I was so excited for this trip until I remembered that we still had to do that duet. And this time, it was going to be in front of a whole basketball stadium. So if I messed up, I would have to run away and go missing. The bus ride was still kind of long, but not as long as the one to Chicago. I was sitting next to Luigi, so we passed time by singing this dumb Chris Brown song. You got it, girl. You got it, girl. You got it, girl. You got it, girl. Play no games, play no games. Ooh, somebody give it my last name. Ooh. We finally got to Universal, and when I walked out of that bus, the sun molested me with its heat. Florida is so hot for no reason. Like, we're in the middle of November, but the sun still thought it was June. So we got into our roommate groups that we had to stay in. And since Luigi was in another group, he left, and I went to my group, which had me, Douglas, Reese's, and another friend. Let's call him Bandy. The first ride we went on was the Hulk, and it was pretty cool. But it made me dizzy for a good minute though, so I could barely walk, and I felt like I was on crack. We later went to this Harry Potter place, and I felt like a fucking nerd. So we got off of this one ride, and I felt like something was wrong. My stomach started acting a little freaky. Hey, stop that. Later, we came across this super steep roller coaster. At first, we all agreed that we weren't gonna ride it, but then Douglas and Reese's changed their minds and they got on. I was gonna follow them, but I started overthinking, and I came to the conclusion that it wasn't worth it. Then we went to this diner nearby, and my stomach ache got worse. And after I ate, I felt like Harambe himself was gorilla gripping my intestines. We got to the buses, and I think I blacked out a few times from the stomach pain. The second we got to the hotel, I went to the restroom, blew up the restroom, and fell asleep. The next day, we went to the mall for lunch, and we went to Chick-fil-A. And the dude at the counter asked for my name so he could call it out when my order was ready. But I wasn't finna give this random my real name, so I thought it would be funny if I gave him a fake one. And what's your name, sir? My name's Gordon. After that, I went to the van store because I like vans and I needed a new pair. I was looking for the Yacht Club vans, but they didn't have any for my long feet, so I had to get these mixed match ones instead. But they still look cool, so I didn't really care. After the mall, we left to go to the Battle of the Bands thing. We got to the stadium and we practiced outside before we got in. Remember the Florida man that I was worried about? Well, he finally decided to show up. This random crackhead started walking around and singing while we were practicing, and I was trying hard not to laugh. But before he could finish his performance, we went inside the stadium. So we got in our seats and the event started. And I'm gonna be completely honest, I wasn't really interested until one of the band's dancers started throwing it back. Eventually it was our turn to perform, and since we were the last band to play, there was already like 1,000 people just looking at us, and I almost died. But thankfully we did the duet without any problems, and we finished the halftime show and went back to our seats. The next day we went to this college football game between FAMU and Bethune-Cookman. Now I don't really care about sports, but I was supporting Bethune-Cookman only because their colors look cooler, and I liked their band. As we were getting ready to go, I made the poor decision of wearing my brand new shoes to the game, because for some reason there was literally sand everywhere. And my shoes got dirty in less than 2 days of me owning them. We got into the stadium and we watched the football game, and during the halftime show, the bands performed. And during Bethune-Cookman's performance, they did the most savage thing anyone could do. So you know how marching bands make shapes on the field and stuff? So at the end of the show, they turned around to the FAMU side, and then they made a whole middle finger to them. And the best part of it all was that they played it off as a peace sign. After that, the game ended with Bethune-Cookman winning, and all the FAMU fans looked depressed in their little green and orange outfits, and I thought that was hilarious. So we left the stadium and started looking for our buses, but then the band director told us some bad news. Alright guys, so apparently one of the buses broke down. So we had to walk all the way down to where the buses were, and you can imagine how weird it was seeing 100 high schools walking down the sidewalk. By the time we got there, the buses were all good and we went home. And that trip was the last one we took before COVID messed it up for all of us. If you're not in your school's marching band, I really recommend joining. Unless the band kids act like this. If they act like this, avoid band at all costs and hide if they approach you. But if they're normal people, then yeah, you should do it. If your life is boring, it'll make it fun. So what are you waiting for? And make sure that when you sign up that you choose trumpet. Because that's the best instrument. Okay, bye-bye.
Let's make him regret ever stepping foot onto our Earth. Let's go!
At Charmin, we make paper, and we love trees. That's why we protect forests by using pulp certified by the Forest Stewardship Council. It's why we regrow at least 2 trees for every tree we use. And it's why, when forests are devastated by natural disasters, Charmin helps restore trees through the Arbor Day Foundation. So you can enjoy the go, but forests remain forests. Charmin.
You guys remember doing school online? What a weird time that was. When the idea of doing school at home came up during the pandemic, I thought it would be fire. Imagine, instead of waking up early, brushing my teeth, and dragging myself to the bus stop at 7 a.m., I could just wake up, turn on my laptop, and lay there with my stank breath. And it was so chill. for like 2 minutes, and then we all realized how trash having class through a Zoom call really was. It was almost worse than being at school, because I felt like I was trapped in my own house. I had to sit in front of this computer for 8 hours and keep my camera on. How you gonna tell me what to do on my camera in my house? It's my house. Bro, they used to treat turning your camera off like you said a slur or something. Teacher would get so offended. Like, bro, me turning my camera on would be more offensive. You do not want to see what I look like on a Monday morning. Jaw, turn your camera on. I'm not gonna say it again. I hated having my camera on, bro. So as you guys know, I'm dark skinned, right? And I like being dark skinned. But cameras don't. My room has terrible lighting. So whenever I had my camera on, it looked like an Enderman was in the class. My square looked like under the bed. It went person, 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 void. But I found ways to make having my camera on less lame. You know how you could change your background on Zoom? So I would make a bunch of custom backgrounds and use them every day. My best one was where I took a pic of myself peeking through the door. So when I was in class, folks would be like, bro, who is that behind you? In the whole class period, I would just be looking back and signaling myself to go away and just talking to myself like, hey, bro, I'm in class right now. Leave me, go, close the door. But I kind of understand why they got so mad when we had our cameras off. Because best believe I was not paying attention at all. Every time my camera was off, I was playing on my Nintendo Switch or sleeping. Bro, I would fall asleep on accident so much. It was a problem. Anyone else have that moment where you fell asleep throughout the whole class and wake up at the end and you and your teacher are the only ones in the meeting? So now the teacher's 100% sure you were just asleep. That was the worst, bro. That was so embarrassing. The government is watching. They're listening. They're in your walls. Quick. Another thing that will happen in Zoom class was when you left your mic unmuted by accident. So many people got exposed, bro. You had people talking to themselves, people getting yelled at by their parents. Bro, somebody left their mic on and started roasting someone in the meeting. That person was me. Okay, let me explain. Okay, this was like a little before school started, and we were told to do a meet and greet through Zoom. So I joined my economics class, and I saw this one dude, and I don't know, he just looked roastable, right? I didn't even say nothing mean. I was just like, oh, look at this rat-ass, ugly-ass, dumb-ass. Oh, I'm unmuted. Being able to use mics made like, oh, look at this rat-ass, ugly-ass, dumb-ass. Oh, I'm unmuted. Being able to use mics was just like, oh, look at this rat-ass, ugly-ass, dumb-ass. Oh, I'm unmuted. Being able to use mics made dodging questions so much easier though. If you got caught on and you wasn't paying attention, you just pretended your internet was bad. Questions so much easier. Dumbass. Oh, I'm roastable, right? I didn't even say nothing mean. I was just like, ah, you guys remember doing school online? What a weird time that was. When the idea of doing school at home came up during the pandemic, I thought it would be fire. Imagine, instead of waking up early, brushing my teeth, and dragging myself to the bus stop at 7 a.m., I could just wake up, turn on my laptop, and lay there with my stank breath. And it was so chill. For like 2 minutes, and then we all realized how trash having class through a Zoom call really was. It was almost worse than being at school, because I felt like I was Bro, I was using 99% of my brain to cheat. I was using voice search on Google while looking straight at the camera. I had double monitors. I was like that nigga from Kid Possible. And bro, I just had a flashback. Remember those losers that would try so hard to be funny in the chat box? I hated those people so much, dude. Like the lame kid that nobody cared about finally had a chance to get attention, so they would force everyone to look at their trash Reddit meme jokes. Once somebody just copied it
Let's pray. Go. Let's plan. Congratulations. Let's play. Ready. What did you shoot? Congratulations.
My subscribers will know about me tomorrow.
Congratulations.
This thing just pops up out of nowhere. I don't even know how to go